Welcome everyone to the finals of the Global Chess League 2025. We have Alireza Firouzja from the Triveni Continental Kings there playing against Fabiano Caruana from the Alpine SG Pipers. This is their second game that they will play against each other. The first one was won by Firouzja in the finals, but the Triveni lost that match, and now Alireza has to fire once again, this time with the black pieces. You might be hearing a bit of background sound, but that's because I am recording this from the Mumbai airport on my way to the World Rapid and Blitz in Doha. Please forgive me for a bit of disturbance. The arbiter comes in and he starts the clock, a handshake, and Caruana opens the game with pawn to d4. Firouzja brings his knight to f6, c4 played here, and Alireza thinks for a bit and goes g6. Of course, when you want to fight, there's no better opening than the King's Indian defense. e4, d6, and Fabi brings his knight to f3, black castles, and bishop e2. Now knight comes out to d7 so that when e5 is played, you take, the queens are not traded. Bishop goes to e3, and now pawn to e5 played. White pushes the pawn to d5, and now knight to g4, attacking the bishop. The bishop comes here, harassing the queen, f6, bishop h4 played. And Firouzja pushes his pawn to h5. The idea is g5 and h4 trapping the bishop. Knight at 6, f3. The players are playing very quickly. Maybe they have it all figured out. Queen comes to c2. Do you want to long castle and then play g4? Goes bishop at 6. Very interesting move. Fabi long castles here. And Firouzja now brings his bishop right into the heart of the position. King b1. He wants to maybe put it on d4. Look at the bishop, which was doing nothing, on g7, where it is right now. And bishop e1 played after c5. The king comes up to g7. And white is better here, but it's a crazy position. Knight to f1. This is exactly what Firouzja would have wanted when he has to play for a win. Bishop d4, and now g4 played. Well, you can't push h4. You'll simply lose the pawn. So he takes fg, and now a6. Firouzja wants to open up the queen side with b5. Fabi wants to open up the king side with h5, h6. Who's going to be faster? b5, boom! Sacrificing a pawn. cb, and Firouzja, I'm pretty sure, will take this. No, he goes knight b6. He's like, Fabi, take it if you want. Here. Fabi takes the pawn, but already it feels like Firouzja's initiative is growing. Bishop takes a6. Very natural move here, but Firouzja taking his time. Maybe there are other options as well, like rook h8. Maybe queen d7 is not so silly. Time wise, Firouzja has 13 minutes. Fabi has 12 minutes, 33 seconds. He goes queen d7. Interesting move. He's putting pressure on g4 pawn. And now a strong move is g5 here. White himself could play, and that's what Fabi does, playing like a machine here. Bishop takes on a6. He takes on f6, king f6. Wow. Is the king really going to run away from here to c7 for safety? I doubt. And now Caruana takes a bit of his time. It's clear that the engine thinks white is better, but white needs to finish off his opponent. h5 played, and I think opening up the position just doesn't make sense. So g5 played, keeping it closed, keeping it complex. The knight goes to g3. The knight is coming to f5 here, and he goes knight to c4. Okay, you can take the bishop here, take the knight here. He does just that. Bishop takes. And now knight f5 is a strong move by Fabi. No, he goes b3. It's not a good move, because b3 means that there is rook f b8. You get your final piece into the attack. Can Firouzja find this with 5 minutes on the clock? Fabi has 4 minutes 35 seconds. No, the problem already is that there are some sacrifices on b3 followed by c4. There are sacrifices looking exciting on b3. Goes rook f b8. King c1 played here by Fabi. trying to run away. And boom, a rook sacrifice incoming here. The rook sacrificed. Queen takes a2. He takes on b3 with the rook. Look at this position now. It's rook down for Alireza, but it's complicated to the hill. Now, queen g4 coming in. It's a powerful move, very strong move. And plays it. Firouzja with just 1 minute 13 seconds. Caruana with 2 minutes 40 seconds. Queen has entered in on g4. Pressure here. Rook h2. He blunders. Queen f4 check. Is winning. Nobody first takes on c3. This would have allowed check first. But now he's totally winning here, Firouzja. He's totally in control. The way to win this is now just give a check. Pick up the e4 pawn. And he has 27 seconds only. Fabi has 1 minute. Firouzja needs to speed up. He can't think too much. He goes bd3, which is a fine move. And look at how the black pieces are dominating the position. The rook, the bishop, the queen, all are well positioned. And now, what should Fabi do here? Well, he's taking his time, but there's no time. He's down to less than a minute. Firouzja has only 9 seconds. This position requires at least half an hour for both players to even make sense of it. That's how complicated it is. Goes queen a4. And now rook b5. It's a tough move to make. And Firouzja has 9 seconds play. He takes on c2 and they're not really reached. Check, king g7. And Fabi points out you've lost on time. 40 moves had not been completed, so there was no increment there. Oh my god, and Firouzja is stunned. He hardly ever loses on time. He's like, what happened? Maybe he forgot that you had to complete. And look at in the background, Ho Yifan and Pragnananda discussing there. And the arbiter trying to understand what has happened here. Of course, it is a loss for Firouzja. I think for Alireza, it's a shock between how could I lose on time and why was there no increment? Well, the answer to the first question is that it happens to the best in the business, and the answer to the second question is that you haven't reached 40 moves, which is why you don't get 2-second increment. And that is what the arbiter is trying to explain it to him. But Firouzja, maybe he would like to check the video, maybe there was something that went wrong with the clock, but actually there was nothing. And you can see Nino Batsiashvili coming in. She's played an amazing tournament and she comes in to understand what's happening here. And she asks Fabi, and Fabi is like, I mean, Alireza lost on time. What can I do? And the arbiters trying to figure out what to do. I mean, is Alireza actually claiming that there was some kind of a fault with the clock? Is he claiming something else? The chief arbiter comes in and says that his time is 0-0. I mean, he's told by his deputy chief arbiter the time was 0. And he comes to Alireza and says that, well, this position is lost. Maybe they're checking in there, but I think Alireza knows deep within that he just lost on time. The players get up. Fabi has scored an very important board point on the top board, and then Anish won as well. Pragnananda beat with it. That was already 3 points. And then Ho Yifan drew, and also Leon Mendonça managed to beat his opponent Marc-Andrea Morizzi, which made it 1.5 victory for the Alpine SG Pipers.